The Capital Golf Gang is brought to you by Golfdom, and the 2024 golf season has arrived. You need to get to Golfdom at any of their locations in Tysons, Annapolis, or Rockville and see the latest in clubs, apparel, shoes, and all the golf gear you'll ever need. Get fit for the latest club offerings at any of their locations and let the Golfdom fitters get you dialed in. While you're there, be sure to take a walk through their fabulous selection of apparel that will have you looking great on and off the course. Golfdom also offers full-service club repair to get your existing clubs ready, so get your clubs regripped. Check those lofts and lies, or upgrade that driver shaft. Golfdom has been in the D.C. market since 1982, but they've grown to 3 locations as part of the Worldwide Golf family. You can shop online at worldwidegolf.com or visit Golfdom in Tysons, Virginia, or in Annapolis or Rockville, Maryland. Golfdom, live the game.
4. Straight down the middle.
You know, we have a policy here on the show. It's not really a hard and fast policy, but I'm going to make it right now, and that is never complain about the heat. But it is hot for the final week of summer before good old Labor Day 2024. But that's all right, because we're not going to complain. Why, John Gould? Because winter
sucks.
And it's coming.
Yes.
It is coming before you know it. Another edition of the Capital Golf Gang, presented by Golfdom and Worldwide Golf here in the center fitting studio at Golfdom in Tysons Corner. Just a threesome today, as John Ronas was a late scratch because his duties at River Creek called.
Yeah, work gets in the way sometimes, I tell you.
It does indeed. But I got John Gould, the executive director of the Middle-Atlantic PGA here. He's glad to be inside because you spent a lot of time outside as a rules official, including yesterday. Where were you yesterday?
I was down at Kings Mill Resort in Williamsburg. I went to school down there. It is the hottest place on earth. Today it was going to be 97, feels like 105. So yesterday being 90 feels like 95 was actually a little bit of a break.
Landlocked southern heat plus the James River
No
humidity,
air movement, just kind of low area.
Trees. Yeah. But the Bermuda loves it down there.
Yes, the Bermuda was doing very well.
Yeah. All right, Buddy Christensen from Golfdom is here as well. Buddy, how are you today?
I'm doing well. You know, Kings Mill's where I got married. So
really,
yeah,
man, I wish I'd have known. I would have gone and light a candle.
It
or
was
something.
a long time ago, though.
In colonial garb too.
Oh wow, nice.
Yeah, it was
milkmaid dresses
with the tricolor hat.
Yeah, and muskets. It was like a 21 musket salute. It was spectacular.
That's
wedding.
why we had to do it in November. We would have been way too hot to do it in August that way.
Is that where your lovely bride is from?
Yeah, that area. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I caddied once in the Anheuser-Busch Classic when it was a PGA Tour event in July, right before the British Open. Hottest I have ever been.
How could we leave out the good old Kings Mill Anheuser-Busch Classic as a tour event and tour venue, which was a topic last week?
Yeah,
that's right.
I'd like to see come back.
Yeah.
What a whiff by us.
I know.
We're in our backyard.
Yep. Exactly. And the women were there for a little while afterwards.
Yeah,
right?
They
the
were.
LPGA was there.
Who'd you caddy for?
So the state amateur champion got an exemption at those times, and I was the intern for the State Golf Association. So just kind of an arranged marriage. The story I told my staff yesterday. I drank a bottle of water on every tee box because that's how they had it.
And
I
never once had to go to the bathroom.
Never once had to go to the bathroom. And this is before we had what I would call technical pants. These are just all cotton. Went from light brown to dark brown.
Oh my God!
And it was
the Lucas Glover look.
Yeah.
Lord have mercy. Okay, let's start hole number 1 this week. I'm the captain now. BMW Championship, Keegan Bradley, supposedly just, easing into this second phase of his tour career as the soon-to-be captain of the Ryder Cup next year, and yet he wins again. Yeah. Third time on tour in the last 2 years. He has more wins in the last 2 years than, I believe, Cantlay, Fowler,
Thomas.
I think Morikawa's in that
Spieth
list.
and Morikawa
combined.
It's crazy.
That's nuts.
Yeah, he's the ultimate grinder. He's Massachusetts born. Kind of grinder. I think he's the kind of guy that will win and then not play very well for a while, and then he'll win because he's a closer when he's playing well. And then, we've got other guys who are very good at the guys you mentioned who are kind of more consistent but just don't have that closing ability that Keegan does.
Yeah. Here he was after the event talking to reporters on the.
I was ready for those cheers. We did it. It was a battle all day. Hi, Logan. Hi, Cooper. Hi, Jillian. I love you guys.
I know you missed an important soccer match this weekend, but you made it worth it. You told me earlier this week that last Sunday in Memphis was the most stressed you have ever felt on a golf course. How different did it feel today?
Oh, man, it just shows why you got to grind it out every week because you never know how fast this can switch. Now I go to Atlanta with a chance to win the FedEx Cup. I can't believe it. I'm so excited. My dad's first time you see me win, so we're pumped.
And might the Ryder Cup captain be playing in the President's Cup next month?
I don't know. I don't know. But I'm proud of the way we played today, and we did it. Win number 7.
Dad, how proud are you?
Oh, my gosh. I'm so proud. Like I said, it's the first time, like Keegan said, that I've ever seen him win live. I saw him win the Grand Slam and some amateur events, the Wyoming State Amateur, but never this. So this is a very, very special day.
And Keegan, for those watching who don't know, can you describe the relationship your father has had with you in the game of golf?
Yeah, well, he taught me how to play. So he was a club pro his whole life. I went to work with him every day. And, fast forward to now, he got to see me win for the first time. So what a day.
What a day. Congratulations, both of you. We'll see you next week.
Hi, Logan. Hi, Coop.
Thank you so much.
There you go. How about that?
And, he does not get in that event if Tom Kim plays week before.
Just
right?
totally bombed the last 4 holes, something like double bogey, double par or something like that at the end.
I think he was bogey, double, bogey.
Yeah.
It was a complete train
Meltdown.
wreck.
Yeah.
Thomas the Tank Engine off the rails.
That's right.
Putting Bradley through, and now he has won.
Yeah.
So think about his arc of the last year. Almost a year ago to the date, he was the most prominent snub from the Ryder Cup because he didn't share an Airbnb at the Open like some guys did.
That's right.
And they had their bromance going. And so he took that and used it probably as internal motivation and is now on the verge of an incredible year. Now, he probably won't win the FedEx Cup, but if he did, it wouldn't be the best look for the format, given that this year has not been about Keegan Bradley. It's been about the Xander and Schauffele, the Scheffler and Schauffele show.
Yeah,
right.
And Scheffler has said, and I agree, but it's just not the way playoffs work. If you want to say who's the best player, this is not the way to do it. Best player over the course of the year. But none of the playoffs in any of our major sports work that way.
Right. We're going to get –
You could be the best team of the regular season, best team over 162 games or 17 games or whatever, 82.
Right.
And then all of a sudden someone plays better in the playoffs and wins. But we don't say, wow, that team that won first place didn't have a good year. They had a great year.
We'll get into the playoffs and that comment from Scheffler. We'll hear from him because I've got it queued up here in the rundown. But, there's a lot to be argued about that, and I'm looking forward to doing that. But let's just focus on this week. The crowds were amazing. It was a sellout.
Yeah.
They were loud. They were rowdy. And I thought it popped on television. Good for the tour and good for the BMW Championship to go out there and to have this event.
Yeah, so I was trying to figure out why it was there. Nobody wrote this story that why it was there. And, because the BMW is the one that moves around, right? Obviously, Atlanta's, we got the same one at East Lake every year. And so I don't know the reason, but I was shocked. I'm like, but it's 8,000 yards and the ball carries, and it seems like that's going to be a weird way to determine, the top 30. But to your point, it was incredible.
I like the format now the playoffs have, in which you've got St. Jude. First of all, they cut it down from 4 events to 3 in 2018, I believe. And that was because guys would skip one of the 4 playoff events because they had so many points they didn't have to worry about it.
Right.
That was a bad look. So with the 3 tournament finish, you got the anchor on the front, the anchor on the back, and then the middle one roves around. It's been to Olympia Fields. When Hovland won it last year, it was in our backyard at Caves. The year before that, it's coming back to Caves next year. So it's kind of cool, and they found a spot that has been starved for golf, and the fans turned out.
And 8,000 yards, and you got Adam Scott, the oldest guy in the field, in the last group, with Keegan Bradley, who's a Ryder Cup champion, or a Ryder Cup captain coming up. So that shows he's been around for a long time. So pretty cool.
And Adam Scott did not get a sponsor's invite to this, or what do they call him? He got a lot of sort of backdoor invites early on this year, but he's had a good enough season that by merit, by points, he was in this.
You could argue that's
second
because
leg.
he got into those events he shouldn't have got into, but
But he didn't miss the cut.
Well, the other thing about Adam Scott, I was thinking, because we have a partner in Australia that just got bought out by Phil Scott, Adam's father, and Adam's business. So we've got this relationship down there, and I was talking to one of the guys last night, and Adam Scott went through the U.S. Open qualifier, was in a playoff with Cam Davis on that longest day of golf, and actually didn't get in. Then he got the exemption in, but it wasn't like he was sitting back just like letting things come his way. He's been battling all the way through.
Yeah, he's another. I mean, he's a pretty boy, right? He's got the best swing out there, at least for the right-handers. He's always dressed like a model, but he's a grinder. We picture grinders as guys that kind of. Just
shirt hanging out.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. But he's still a grinder.
Some would argue he's not dressed like a model.
Yeah,
he has the worst
he wears the
fashion
brown
sense. In fact, I saw a tweet that said maybe Adam Scott knows he's so dreamy that if he actually dressed with any fashion sense, it would give all the other golfers no hope whatsoever. That this is his way of going, look, I know I'm good looking, and I'm a nice guy, and the ladies love me, so let me wear brown khakis and a white shirt.
And with a brown sweater, different shade.
Unbelievable. He must dress in the dark. He really must. But anyway, there was other things from the week that was at the BMW. We go to hole number 2. You must be on crack. The broken driver, I put that in air quotes, of one Matthew Fitzpatrick, caused quite the stir in which rules officials were called over. Fitzpatrick saw a small crack in the face of his driver. That was at least enough for the rules official on hand to be able to say, I can feel it with my fingernail, but as I gently pushed on it, it didn't seem to be any compromise of the face. Therefore, you're not allowed to replace it. The normally mild-mannered, nerdy Fitzpatrick went off and was very mad. Scotty Scheffler in his group was also not happy about it. Now, I've heard the explanation as to why the ruling went the way it did, but I defer to our rules expert, John Gould, for your thoughts.
Well, I have not heard the explanation, so I'd be curious to that.
Okay.
But, this is the same thing with the golf ball when people, they bounce it off a cart path and it's got a scuff. It goes back to the argument we've had on the show many times about divots in a fairway. It's just so hard.
What's a divot?
Yeah, it's just so hard to define what is damage. And if we let the pros particularly, but the players determine it, anytime anything was slightly off, hey, let's get a new ball, let's get a new club, we'll do anything. The divot, it's a 1/16 of a millimeter. Well, I get relief because it's a divot, right? So you kind of got to have a threshold that's significant. Unfortunately, the rules for the clubs basically say, it has to have significant damage. I forget the exact language.
That's what it says?
Yeah, something along those lines. And, that was a little tiny crack. And I'm sure to the player, that is like, well, I can't hit this club this way. But in terms for the rules perspective, it's like, well, it's just not that damage. Same with the golf ball. I get asked by players to take a golf ball out of play when it's got a scuff. And it has to be significantly out of round. Is the way it's worded in the rules. So it's very similar, and the rules of golf got to contemplate all this stuff. So they kind of just say, all right, we're gonna draw the line on significant damage. Well, that's a subjective thing.
You would think though it's not giving the player an advantage to switch to a different head unless the head was tactically different.
Yeah, so that's the thing. But you
would have to
can't put that in the rules either.
Well, wouldn't you have to say it's a 10-degree loft, not a 9-degree, and it's the same CCs?
Yeah. Well, what if that's not what he carries? 3 clubs to each tournament: a 9, a 10, and 11.
I guess you're right. I guess you're right.
Yeah.
So if you break your club in a manner that is not due to anger, you can replace it with any spec you want.
And you can replace it with any club.
Any
if you
club.
break your driver, you
Go
can
to
add
a
a
mini
wedge.
driver.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's why they couldn't do it. Buddy, you're in the equipment business.
Yeah.
The rationale I read is equipment manufacturing related. Do you know what it is?
I read something about it. I'm thinking that it's going to be the same thing. But first of all, do balls even go out around anymore?
Not really. That's why it's really hard to
they're
meet that
two-piece
threshold.
balls.
Yeah. They don't even go out
someone
around.
comes to me and just has a little scuff because they hit the cart path, and I'm not going to let you take relief from that.
Yeah.
Get a new ball.
Well, back to the equipment, though. I'm just glad this guy's got a strong enough thumb to be able to press on it like a 110, 120 mile an hour club head hitting a ball. So that's good to know.
I mean, he was pressing on it, not that he was able to move it.
Yeah, right.
So,
but
and that would probably be the good threshold.
What's the coefficient of restitution for his
the
thumb?
COR for my thumb?
yeah.
Depends on how strong your thumb is.
So, Zabe, is what you heard
What I heard
had
is
to do with the
thinness of the face.
Yeah.
And this, I believe, was from Ted Scott, one of the caddies on tour, who tweeted out a long series of tweets going, there's a reason why. If they allowed these heads to be replaced for such minor damage, the club makers who make all these wonderful weapons in this wonderful store would make that face so thin because they would know, a pro's going to crack it once every 500 drives, but guess what? It'll give us an extra 4 yards. So it's almost like the rule is a bit of a pushback to the manufacturers making the face too thin.
Yeah, that's what I heard as well.
And
that does make some sense.
Like it.
And
here it is
believe me,
right
they
there.
would.
Look at how I love the camera work, by the way, as they got real close here to show how tiny the crack was.
Well, you know what I see? That's a TSI. That's
a year old.
That's
2 cycles too
generations old.
Oh my
and
God.
those are 2 years apiece. So that's a
What is
5-year-old driver.
Fitzpatrick doing with that thing?
I know.
Come on.
Get into the new Titleist,
That's a good
which are
eye.
here,
We gotta
here
have
in the
Buddy's
store,
eye.
by the way. Buddy's
They are here.
going to let me swing the new Titleist driver.
Oh, boy.
We'll see,
We got
We're
a
gonna
new
see how it
secret
looks.
weapon.
Yeah, after the show today. But yeah. So anyway, it's just another one of those rules quirks where, sometimes they don't go your way.
Yep.
I don't think it mattered. These guys can play 3-wood basically and play the same.
Correct, especially at that altitude. He was probably hitting it so far it didn't matter.
Right. Okay. Hole number 3. Rory's Water World. What a week it was for Rory. First, there was this frustrated club throw on the 17th hole.
His tee shot.
If it's not a separation,
That's just his swing here.
it's not enough. All right. I think right now we're going to say no.
Obviously not happy with that one.
This is low left.
I don't see Rory lose his poise.
Very
too
low
often.
left.
Well, I guarantee you.
Yeah. So there you go on that.
That
Is
was terrible, by the way. That was just a weak little,
If you're going to throw your club in the lake, be committed to
And throw it in the middle
Get
of
it
the
in
lake.
the middle of the
That's
lake,
right.
for God's
But
sakes.
we've seen him do it before, right? He's
Yeah, he
tomahawked
did it,
one out
I think he
there.
did it East Lake before. It was one of the closest
No.
holes. No?
It was at Doral.
Oh, that's right. It was
And
a
it was
Doral.
a 3-iron.
And it was
someone
out
went and
there.
got it.
And
He
was out
committed.
there. Trump, who owns the property, got it out of there because he appreciated
I don't think personally, but
If you ask him, maybe.
Can you imagine Trump coming out of the water with his hair all dripping? And So, but I mean, look, I hate to be what about the kids? But what about the kids? See, now, Mr. Unacceptable, Ronas, is not here today, so he can't weigh in.
yeah.
He's a pro.
Yep.
You shouldn't be doing this.
Right.
And
Tut.
I think the half-hearted effort of that
Yeah.
was him thinking, I shouldn't do this. I'm so mad. And then he kind of does an in-between job there, I think,
Yeah, he did fish it out. Didn't go too far in.
Didn't have
No.
the caddy do it.
and his caddy
had to dry it off.
who is his caddy again?
Liam, no.
The boy band guy.
Yeah.
His buddy from back in the
Niall.
day.
Niall
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. Anyway, then there was this. He ends up on the bank of a babbling brook, and he's got a stance, but he's got to stand on 2 rocks in the middle of the babbling brook. And it took a while to figure out, do I have
The wayward drive, obviously.
Terrible drive. It just
The
kind of
footing here.
squirted dead
Look at
right
this.
off the tee.
Shoes
and so
off,
it hit the bank. and then
standing
ended up
barefoot.
Just outside the water, inside the penalty, the red line. So shoes are off. He's going to give it a go here
Angled
up
lie,
this hill.
playing.
First of
very
all, notice the time on this YouTube video, 2 minutes and 41 seconds.
40 yards, but it's
That's
down
too
the
long to play a shot. I don't care if it's a tricky shot or not. This is why shot clock now in golf. Okay, so now
right there.
he's got 1 foot on a dry rock, another foot down on the slimy rocks under the
Stood on
water.
the rocks a couple of days ago with the shoes on.
This is crazy. This is like, I want to blow my Achilles out.
Yeah. I mean,
Take a penalty, for God's
without a
sakes.
doubt.
It's a good one. It'll be all over the highlight reels tonight, right?
Yeah, and he's got to be careful here. You got to aim it a little to the right with this.
My mom told me about this. She's like, did you see Rory on the rocks trying to hit a shot. I go, no, I did not see that, Mom. I still haven't seen how this one goes.
I haven't seen it. I saw a picture. That picture you had, I saw before. I haven't seen this.
We got to fast forward to the end here. I want to watch this. We got
8 more minutes.
I'd put my shoes back on and then change at the turn.
It's over the
Now he's
ball.
gone through all this stuff.
Waiting.
Foot on another rock.
Hold on. And there you go.
I think he
Clean
makes
hit.
par.
Oh.
On the green.
Yep.
Right there it is.
See, why did you say you should take a penalty stroke? He did it perfectly.
Well,
I
okay.
know, I'm just teasing.
No, you know what? Maybe it was
Outcome.
fine.
I'm looking at the outcome, not the decision making.
Yeah.
But
So what's going on with Rory? And then I saw a clip of him snapping his driver, leaning on it.
yeah,
Yeah.
not in anger, supposedly.
I don't buy that.
Yeah.
I don't buy that. You can lean on your driver to bend over and pick up your tee and not snap it. That was let me break my driver because I'm frustrated, but I don't want to look like I'm breaking my driver.
I think that's probably something. To
Quite
that.
a week for Rory.
Yeah,
But he got to replace it because
it was not. It was in the normal course of play.
Yeah.
Basically.
okay. Yeah, that's one way to do it, I suppose.
Yeah, correct.
So that said, he and the rest of the guys go to East Lake for the playoffs, which, according to the world's number one, Scotty Scheffler, is, quote, kind of silly. He'll start in the lead spot at 10 under. Xander is 2 shots back at 8. Hideki, who said today, Wednesday as we tape, that he is 50-50 on his back, is in third at 7 under. Keegan, 4 shots back at 6.
I wonder if he withdraws. Does Keegan go to 7? Or does
I don't think so.
No, I wouldn't think so, but yeah, that would be interesting.
No, because it would then give an advantage to to him versus the rest of the field.
Yeah.
Then you've got Oberg at 5 under, Rory at 4. Rory has loved East Lake, not as much as Xander has loved East Lake. And that's the old East Lake. We'll see what it looks like after our friend Andrew Green has done his magic to it and changed a lot of the nature of the course. But Xander had been, since 2017, 85 under par at East Lake. Second was Justin Thomas and Rory at 55 under par.
Wow.
Since 2017.
Yep. It is kind of neat. You know, we talked about it at the beginning on one of the other questions, but to have this at the same place every year, I mean, it's obviously not Augusta, but we know, and it's going to be different this year. I was going to say, we know the holes, we know kind of the finish, 18, which used to be 9, that, you got the par 5 where you got to lay up right in front of that creek and then go for it and all that stuff. So it's cool to have a history at the course,
Yeah, right. But now it's going to be a lot different. I think on TV it'll look different. Yeah. So here was Scheffler being asked about it, saying it's kind of silly, in his words, and his opinion.
About the last few years, I think it's silly. I mean, you can't call it a season-long race and have it come down to one tournament. I mean, hypothetically, we get to East Lake and my neck flares up and it doesn't heal the way it did at the Players. I finished 30th in the FedEx Cup because I had to withdraw from last tournament. Is that really the season-long race? No. I mean, it is what it is. It's a fun tournament. I don't really consider it the season-long race, like I think is the way it's called. But I mean, you got to figure out a way to strike a balance between it being a good TV product and it still being our season-long race. And right now, I don't know exactly how the ratings are or anything like that, but I know for a fact you can't really quite call it the season-long race when it comes down to one stroke play tournament.
Okay. What's he missing on this? Because he's missing a big point in his comparison.
Well, I don't think it's really a season-long race. It's a playoffs, like I said at the beginning, but nobody's going to say Scotty was not player of the year if he doesn't win this.
Okay,
right?
but is the baseball season a season-long race?
Yeah, no, it's not. That's what I said. All the playoffs.
What is a season-long race?
I don't know that you could have it without. I mean,
there's no other sport that uses that terminology.
Yeah,
a season-long race. It's a regular season to get positioning.
Correct.
For the playoffs.
Yeah,
right.
That's what it is now, and I think it's way better than what the tour used to be. As we all know, we're of an age where we remember the tour would just fizzle into irrelevance in the fall.
Correct.
With no
even with
closing note
even
to
with
it.
Tiger Woods, and maybe especially because of Tiger Woods, when he'd won 6 times during the year, the season long race was over.
Right.
So you had the situation where somebody wins the Tour Championship, and then they say, "Oh yeah, and here's Tiger's trophy for winning the season-long race."
Right, but what were we racing for? The money title?
Yeah.
The Varden Trophy for lowest scoring average? You could rack up some low scores once the Tour would go to places like Florida and Vegas once September rolled around.
Right.
So I just don't know, first of all, and I like Scotty Scheffler, but why can't these dummies get on board with a little bit of, okay, I'm going to be a team player. I'm going to feel and talk invested in this thing that's going to pile. How much does the winner get for the Tour Championship?
$25 million, right?
Is it that much now? It was 10. 10 was the big deal when it first.
Before, yeah.
No, I think it's 25 because of all the.
Oh my God!
Things. Yeah.
Like, how about say, look, it's kind of like other sports where in America the playoffs are a second season.
Yep.
And you play the regular season to get the best chance in the playoffs, but it's random. And the whole thing about I could wake up with a bad neck. Well, Tom Brady almost didn't play the AFC title game with a banged up hand. Remember that?
Yeah.
Oh, I remember
that one.
well.
Yeah, right. You were nervous that morning, as were every Patriot fan. So I don't want to be a shill for Jay Monahan. That's Ronus's job, and he's off today. But at some
Please
point,
send emails to John
at
Ronus
some point, a modicum of appreciation for just how much money they're being paid. And, hey, it's got to be something. This is the format they've chosen. Embrace it.
And I think he's really just reacting to someone's not going to call me the best player of the year, and nobody's saying that. It's if he doesn't win, say if Xander wins or anybody else, Taylor Pendrith, I saw that. Wouldn't it be great if somebody like Taylor Pendrith
out of
wins
nowhere,
the whole thing out of nowhere? But no one's going to say, "Oh yeah, Taylor Pendrith was the best player that year." We're going to look back 10 years ago. Man, that year Taylor Pendrith had when he won the FedEx Cup. Man, that was something. Nobody's saying that, but he's it's like a false narrative that he's saying. Okay, people are going to say this, so this is wrong. They're going to say you had a great year.
I'm guessing it came up because they said, hey, how do you feel about this season-long race? So when you really put it in that context, I can see where he's like, really. So it's almost like the Tour needs to do a better job of the FedEx Cup. It's the FedEx playoffs that are this, it's almost like the season is over, and now we've got the big playoffs at the end. And it's been exciting, and I think it will be exciting. But if Scheffler doesn't keep his lead after round 0, he's 0 for 3 doing this, which is not settling
good
for him.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
There are some golfers, and that I've seen, and media members, that vehemently disagree with this staggered start concept.
Right.
Which was
Talk about handicap strokes and all that stuff.
Right, which was made to simplify the television product of knowing, okay, because you used to have Steve Sands out there. I've got my latest calculations. Our computers are saying nobody wanted that. This makes perfect sense to me, and it consolidated 2 trophies into 1. You don't want to be handing out 2 trophies after an event.
Which they did.
Which was dumb.
Yeah.
This is perfect. I don't know why some golfers get all up in arms about this. This makes perfect sense. You can digest it. You can see it. And it's a nice finish to the year.
Yeah,
and they're getting the hell out of the way before football. Another conceit that the PGA Tour got right.
Yeah. And I'm going to agree, but slightly different. I think it's the best possible solution. It's not quite perfect because of the look of, we're giving Scotty Scheffler strokes.
What would you change?
No, I'm not going to. That's what I'm saying. I'm not going to change.
So
anything.
You don't have any better ideas?
I don't have any better ideas, and I don't. I think
Buddy,
it's
do you have
the
a
best
better
we got.
idea?
The only
this?
thing I could say is that typically the lead guy going in this is 2 shots better than the next guy who's 1 or 2 shots better than the next guy. Yep. This one, he might be 4 shots better than Xander, and Xander might be 2 shots better than the next guy, and then everybody else falls down. I don't know how you would formalize that to be able to say, hey, you earn this many points, so you get this many under par. That would be my only argument for Scheffler, is that he's way outplayed the field this year, and Xander's the only one within striking distance.
Yeah.
Right.
But I don't know how you would.
That would be some heavy-duty math.
Yes.
Or it's almost like, the guy at 30th, Justin Thomas, should be 20 strokes behind.
Yes.
Not 10. But
I know this. If we get a Taylor Pendrith, Tom Hoagie showdown as they come from deep back in the field, that's, even and -1, that's electric factory stuff. I'll be in front of my TV for that. All right, let's take a break here, shall we? As we continue on, we're playing a quick 9 today as we march through the usual topics and some other ones as well. We got to talk about the AIG Women's Open. And Lydia Ko returning to the winner's circle, and a one terrible hole for Nelly Korda that did her in at the old course at St. Andrews. More on that to come. We are live here, plausibly so, in the center fitting studio at Golfdom in Tyson's Corner for the Capital Golf Gang, presented by Worldwide Golf. Hey, thanks for listening. I want to take a minute to thank Buddy Christensen of Golfdom and his new parent company, Worldwide Golf, for being the exclusive presenting sponsor of the Capital Golf Gang. My connection to Buddy and Golfdom runs deep, as the original form of this store was called the Washington Golf Center, and it was located in a nondescript loading dock behind a tire center in Tysons. It's where I remember buying my first ever tailor-made bubble burner. True love. Since then, Buddy worked there as an employee and eventually bought and sold the store, but the legacy of Golfdom now in its new location lives on. It is a store filled with happy, helpful employees who both know the game inside and out and love it beyond all reason. And they have every single thing under the sun to help you enjoy it even more. So, if you love golf, and I know you do because you're listening right now, please take a moment to visit any of the Golfdom stores in the D.C. area, from Tysons to Rockville and now Annapolis. Now, back to the podcast. We're back, Capital Golf Gang. John Gould of the Middle Atlantic PGA and Buddy Christensen of Golfdom here. Ronas is off today, picking the range, I bet. Or some other
95-degree weather.
Oh, man, it's, boy, hot out there today. All right, hole number 5. Lydia Ko takes the AIG Women's Open at a cold and blustery and wet St. Andrews. This is normally their best time of year.
Yeah.
I was lucky enough to take a couple trips over there in August, and we got cherry pie weather. I was watching this going, damn. Glad we didn't catch that while we were there. I would have been very upset about it.
Yep.
But we're talking about a leaderboard on the back nine that at one point featured Lydia Ko, Lilia Vu, Nelly Korda, and Ji Ye Shin tied at 6 under on the back nine. That's a pretty good leaderboard right there.
Yeah. I mean, they had a tremendous event. The concern about the weather and the wind, I think they did a good job of, picking spots. I think they used almost the same spot on that par 3 early in the back. I think it's 11. Almost the same spot all 4 days to protect it from the wind, and we're able to control the grass speed. So from a tournament administrator perspective, is obviously what I look at. They did a great job, and yeah, pretty good ending. I mean, it's not how, as Americans, it's not how we want it to finish, but
sure,
it was an exciting ending.
But those 4 tied for lead were all number
winners.
one or former number one
either current
players, which
or
is
former number ones. Pretty impressive.
That is.
Now, Lydia Ko's career kind of, didn't – she was so hyped, so talented, so accomplished early on.
Yep.
I think people expected more. And that's always the tough thing about golf. It's the expecting more from other people upon you that can sometimes send you off course.
Yeah, you try to do more than you're capable of. You try to change your swing to meet the demands of other people, and all of a sudden that sends you down a spiral. We have a ton of stories, in regard to that.
Yeah.
Over the years, not necessarily LPGA, but everybody.
Yeah.
Well, and Rose Zhang came out ablazing. I don't think she's played very well lately, right? So I mean, she's obviously got a lot of time to do a lot of things, but yeah, it's not easy. I mean, that's.
Golf is hard,
yeah.
and you get random slumps that you can't explain as a player that has to do a lot of different things. And also, you can be playing great, as Nelly Korda was, on a cold Sunday, and then one hole can bite you. The 14th,
disaster.
The second of the only 2 par 5s on the course, in which she takes a double. And I'm like, how did you possibly take a double on that hole?
No penalty strokes.
We did a little chip swing here.
So she got over the
shot.
hell bunker. And her third shot
Looks like
from the light rough with a wedge goes through the green and over.
in her stance. See where she decides to land this.
That looked like a garden variety chip, but there's a little swale on the back part of that double green that she just didn't get over. And even still, it's like, okay, could make an easy bogey here.
Quite keep the acceleration up enough.
Par attempt for Nelly.
Chipping it from just off the green. Almost chips it in. It catches the edge for par and has 3 feet left for bogey.
Nelly making a mess.
Do I need to tell you
14th. This for bogey.
What happens?
To stay in the lead.
Ouch. Nope. Ouch. So there you go. All it takes is one hole. Should have been I know. Should have been an easy 4. Instead was a 7, and that kind of did her in.
Yeah.
And she was doing well and then fell back Saturday, right? I think she had a big lead and then fell way back.
Yeah, she had a 3-stroke lead going into the weekend. Shot 76, I want to say, and then got back into it by making a whole slew of putts in the middle part of her round.
Yeah, and I think, yes, she had one bad hole on Saturday, one bad hole on Sunday. I saw some quote from her as I played 70 great holes.
Yeah.
Two bad holes, but that's major golf.
Yeah,
right?
it is.
Right? It's absolutely what can happen in the majors. And
that is the frustration of golf, to be sure. Now, speaking of the old course, hole number 5, you're going the wrong way. For those who are lucky enough to play the old course, you'll notice, especially coming in, you can't see any of the bunkers from the tee. It's because the course used to be played in the other direction.
Yep.
Now, that was 100-plus years ago they did that, but still, it's part of the charm and the quirkiness of the old course. So this photo you're looking at here, you might be saying, wait a minute, what course is that? I don't seem to recognize it. It's because it's looking backwards at a hole that, I think that's 16 green. I think. Don't quote me on that. It's one of the greens. And to play the course backwards is an interesting concept. And guess who got to do it? The guys at No Laying Up. I'm looking forward to seeing this.
Yep.
Look at this. They got permission.
Wow.
With the Royal and Ancient.
Unsure of where we're going. 11 green, back up 12 fairway.
Okay. So we've all been to the old course a number of times now. We're getting to do something we've never done before.
We're going to play it clockwise. So we'll play 1 tee to 17 green and then tee off 18 tee essentially.
And then go backwards around
play
the
to
course.
16 green.
1 tee to 17 green. Okay.
Really
don't they do that like at the end of the year every year? Don't they? Isn't that like
I don't know if they
once-a-year
do
thing?
it every year. Maybe this was part of it. Maybe
Yeah,
there's.
I
I
think
guess
this
so,
is
and they
part of
filmed it.
Yeah.
Might get some moisture. Doesn't look like much.
It's
It's just going to be
absolutely
a little bit
howling.
of moisture.
I just have never seen it played backwards.
Yeah. So this guy, the starter right there, just says "Welcome to Backwards Day."
Okay, so they do that once every year. All right, but I've never seen it, so I'm excited to at least see it. Have you guys ever played a course, whether it's your course or someone else's course or even a public course, that for one day allows you to make crazy holes from a tee box to a hole that doesn't belong?
I am familiar with that. I'm trying to remember if I played it, but I've heard the term cross country. We played cross country.
Yes.
Okay. So we went from 1 tee to 7 green, and then we went from 8 tee to whatever. I'm trying to remember if I've played it, but I'm very familiar with the concept, so I just can't remember.
Yeah, I haven't done it. I know our member guests, which I haven't played in a few years, they have one of the playoff holes go from 17 tee to 16 green and play it, just
Really?
for a different, and
Yeah.
it's not even like a par 3, it's a, 100-yard shot or whatever
Right.
it is, but it gives you this weird angle that you never try. So, yeah, it'd be kind of fun.
Some courses, because of the topography, can provide incredible sort of monster holes, 800, 900 yards long,
Yeah.
that are a par, who knows, whatever you want to make the par, 7, 8, or whatever. Like Maryland National, where I'll be tomorrow, has one stretch of holes where you could tee off on like number 11 and go all the way down to the 15th green, I believe. Wow. And it would be the most insanely fun, hard hole with a lot of strategy as to, well, which fairway am I going to borrow to try to cut across here, get across there. Of course, you got to do it on a day there's no play.
Right. Yeah. You have to have the whole golf course.
Right.
Need
exactly.
good TV coverage with some drones.
Yeah.
Save can take care of all that.
I would love to do it. Hey, any course that wants to do one of those, just hit me up. I'll be there with my cameras and a crew.
Yep.
So, all right, hole number 7. You on him or you off him? I've often said when it comes to certain tour players, I fluctuate where I'll be, okay, I like this guy now, and then they'll say something or do something, and I'm like, nah, I'm off him. So like log rolling, which I've got a wonderful photo of here. Are you on the log? You off the log? You on them or you off them?
This is just we like them or we're betting on them?
I don't want to define anything. I just, are you on them or you off them?
Okay.
Is that I don't want to. If I get too specific, then it muddies the equation.
But we're talking about right now. Are you on them or off them?
Just like log rolling.
Got it.
1 minute you're on the log, buddy. The next you're in the water swimming.
Got it.
with your overalls and your flannel shirt like a lumberjack.
Yep.
Keegan Bradley, are you on him or you off him?
Got to be on him.
Yeah.
Why?
Just one. He's going to be the Ryder Cup captain. He's going to play in the President's Cup as a Ryder Cup captain.
I'm on him too. He's going to make the Ryder Cup team potentially. I mean,
I used to be off him because of the back away.
Yeah.
And the back away.
Yeah.
That was frustrating to me to watch.
Does he still do that? I don't know if he does it as bad.
I saw a little bit of it. I didn't watch a ton of them, but I saw a little bit of it. But maybe because you're so used to seeing it.
Yeah.
But I'm right now on him because I appreciate the year he's had and the way he's responded to being snubbed by the boys' club last year for the Ryder Cup. So I'm on Keegan Bradley. Good job. Rory McIlroy. I'm off him.
I'm off him.
I'm off him too.
Yeah.
And it's not because of last year I was kind of off him. Well, last year was almost like, he was trying to be the
commissioner,
de facto commissioner.
Right.
And so that's all done. And he's had his personal stuff all this year. It's just kind of, I'm off him.
Yeah, and I just can't count on him to win. I mean, he'll have a 62 and then finish 25th.
I'm off him because I feel like his lack of trying at times is not a good look.
Yeah, what event was that where he basically admitted
in Memphis? He tanked it.
Yeah,
but he still made it through to the next round. Now he's in position. He's what I was looking at the chart.
He's
like
6 under or 4 under.
Yeah, he's about 5 shots back to start with. And I used to be so on Rory. You guys know that.
Yeah,
Rory stand for life.
Yeah.
But I don't. It disturbs me that he just doesn't seem to care or try as much as he should. The knock on him has always been lack of grind, and I'm seeing it more and more lately. So I'm off. Jordan Spieth, you on him or you off him?
Off him.
Because
he can't find the face of the earth right now, and I can't trust him I like him fine as a human, but
wrist injury, he's getting surgery.
Yeah, but
that doesn't factor you.
No,
buddy, you on him or off?
I'm off him, and it's weird. It's like he's washed up, and he's still young, but it feels like he's just washed up.
He used
you guys are harsh.
He used to be. If he was at 25 feet, you're like, oh, he's making this.
Right
now, you're like, he might 3-putt this. I mean, it's
he was
totally
one
different.
of the best draws on TV. On the tour.
Sure. And when he was making
don't write him
putts,
off.
I'm not writing him off. I'm just off him right now.
Okay, you're off him right now. I'm actually on him. I want him to make a comeback. I feel for him as a guy who's injured. We never hear about. Not never. We often don't hear nearly as much about golfer injuries as we could, or they're clouded in mystery. And anyone who plays like we do, you know that one little thing being wrong, elbow, shoulder, mess everything up.
Big problem. Yep.
I hope he gets healthy. I'd like to get him back to being Jordan Spieth. Xander Schauffele, on him or off him?
Got to be on him right now. He is hot. He's playing good. He's keeping his mouth shut relatively for him. Won 2 majors. What else can you want?
I'm on him just out of respect for what he's done this year. I was completely off of him during Ryder Cup time last year, but now I'm on him.
Yeah, I'm off him. I was never on him. He's a great player. Does nothing for me. I'm still off him, but I have read the pamphlet. I've been given a pamphlet, and I said thank you to the person at the door, and I've gone in to look at it, but that's it.
Okay.
Victor Hovland, who's through to the final tournament of the year despite having what he says is a terrible season. You on him or you off him?
I am off him right now. I love him long term. I think he's going to be great for golf and great for the game, but I'm off him right now. Okay.
I am also off him. I don't have enough energy to figure him out. Like it's been good, it's been bad, and it's just like I don't have time.
Is he the Nordic Patty Harrington, always experimenting, always tweaking things that shouldn't be tweaked, basically?
No
doubt.
And Patty won 2 majors, right? So he can do that.
I'm still on Hovland, even though he had a bad year. Justin Thomas, you on him or you off him?
This is going to hurt. Because I've been a Justin Thomas fan and Stan,
son of a PGA
member, but now Keegan is too now. So but I am off him right now. I have no confidence in him, hitting a shot, doing wherever he is, driving, chipping, which has usually had a good short game. I'm always thinking the worst thing's going to happen, and unfortunately, most of the time it has been.
Okay,
I'm off him. I'm just tired of hearing all the, hey, he could be, and we're just not seeing it. It's almost like him and Spieth are in the same
and I saw he was on the list, one of the golf magazines, who's the potential captain's picks, and they had him on there, and I'm like, you can't be serious to have him on the potential captain's picks. That would just drive everybody crazy if he got on again.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm off him, but I could be tempted back on.
I'm always ready to get back on.
Bryson DeChambeau, you on him or you off him?
I am off, and I don't know if I'll ever be on, despite his attempts. Yeah, despite his attempts to be more human and do his all.
Did you watch the YouTube with Daly? Breaking 50.
I did.
Hey, did you know Daly's fat and drinks?
Yeah,
it's awesome. Yeah. John Daly smokes.
Look at my
barefoot.
cooler.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I know we sound old right now, but it's just kind of cliched if you ask me.
Yeah, but I don't know if especially the fact that he left to live. I don't know if I'll ever get over it personally.
What does it say that he had a great year in the majors, but then a garbage year on live?
It means he doesn't care.
That even he doesn't care about the live.
Right.
He's been a big proponent.
Same with the next guy on the list. So yeah.
But at least he knows he's on the live, unlike John Rahm, who kind of doesn't even know. I'm on DeChambeau, and I didn't think I would ever be on DeChambeau. The One Link Club's always bothered me, but I'm on him now.
I skipped Rahm, by the way. Are you on him or you're off him? I'm back on him again.
I'm completely off of him.
I'm completely off as well.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, just totally oblivious. Just thought, I'm so big, I go to the live, everybody will be forced to come together, and, it had no idea that he was going to have
I'm
to
on him because
play.
he's actually having good results in the live, which means he's putting his shoulder into it. And maybe he's got better drone traffic
it was
over his head.
The first half of the year, I guess you're right.
First half of the year was
he's
terrible.
Number one guy in the world going into this, right?
I know.
He should be dominating that tour. So I don't know. I think he's a delusional tour player right now as far as his career.
All right, Bruce Koepka. You on him? You off him?
Off him. I mean, I literally barely noticed him this year. Right, I didn't watch any of the live.
Won 2 times on the live tour.
Okay, that's good to know. And then he was invisible in the majors.
Not much of a factor.
Don't know who he is.
Yeah, I'm indifferent, but I'll say off of him.
Especially for a guy who this is all that matters, bro. This is all I care about is the majors. Well, if you do that and then you don't do anything in the majors, we don't care about you.
Okay, Dustin Johnson. You on him or you off him?
Huh? I don't know.
I don't really care if you're on me or not.
Yep. That's about it.
I really don't care.
You outlined it for me.
The only person in my life that I care about is on me. That's good enough.
Yeah, that's right. Paulina.
All right, Sergio.
Yeah, same. I'm trying to think.
Off forever?
Yeah. I mean, he's just a spoiled brat. And I'm trying to think if there's anything any of these live guys can do to kind of get off my list, to get on the on list for me.
Yeah.
And I don't see it.
I would have thought it would. You couldn't. But DeChambeau's one where I'm like, okay, maybe there's a path to it. I don't know what it'd be, but Sergio and Sergio's in the boat with Poulter. Like those guys are on the back side of their career, big time,
and totally did it for the money. And if they would have just said that, I would have had a lot more respect instead of this is going to grow the game in Spain. No.
All right, ignore the second Xander. I hastily put him in twice. Finally, Scotty Scheffler. I'm still on him, but I'm looking for an exit. At this point,
I was going to say something similar.
I'm looking for an exit. What he said about this is silly, and I'm like, you're getting paid $20 million.
Well, and one of the reasons I loved Scotty, and I still I'm still on, okay, but was that he was he had good perspective. He didn't kind of care about all the extra stuff. He just showed up to play, went home to his family. First of all, losing his shit in Denver on that one hole where he hit
dumped
in the water.
Second shot was way long.
Could not believe.
I can't believe that went over. I'm like, you're at altitude. Anything could happen.
Yeah, exactly. This happens all the time. So that perturbed me. And then the statement. But yeah, I'm still on. I think not only is he a great player, he's a great human being. He's a good representative of the PGA Tour. So it's going to take a bunch for me to get off.
Okay.
I'm on him, and partly because, like you said, he seems to be a great human being, but he is a stone-cold killer out there, too, competitively. So, I'm going to give him a pass on some of these. I agree that some of these things are a little...
His game, his strength of his game, obviously, his accuracy has been a little off.
Yeah.
This past 2 or 3 weeks, so it's been
This was the first week in which he lost strokes to the field in strokes gained in both off the tee and approach.
Wow. So
all year long. In fact, not just all year. I think it was the first time he'd lost strokes to the field in 2+ years. You had to go back to 2022.
Wow.
On the old strokes gain front. Okay, pressing ahead. Hole number 8, mailbag.
Oh.
Time. You can always send me an email at zabe@yahoo.com. This one from Adam Bibb. Listen to the Capital Golf Gang the other day in the top 100 holes segment. You know, Zabe, I actually invited you to Pikewood National in Morgantown years ago. I'm like, oh, God. Oh, boy, you did? I don't remember
I hope
that.
I was nice.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, wow, I should have taken you up on the invite. It's a pretty neat story, as I think 3 of their holes are on that top 100 list, and it was designed by the guys that own the property.
Wow.
And had 0 golf development experience. They didn't plan on building a golf course. They just built a range and then said, how about 3 holes? Then 3 holes became 9. Then it became 18. I don't know if it's still true or ever was, but the rumor is once the owners die, they're blowing up the course to build a mine on it.
Wow.
It's a top 30 in Golf Digest's top 100. It's an awesome place. I'm not a member. I am a member of Pete Dye in Bridgeport, West Virginia, and my buddy and I both live in Columbus, Ohio, so we usually run over and play the 2 together. Keep it rolling, Adam Bibb. I said, I'm in. When are we going to go do the West Virginia 2-step? Pete Dye Club, which I hear is also spectacular.
Yep.
And then we'll go play
It's very much a Pete Dye
Pikewood
course,
National.
But, yeah.
Who's in?
I've done Pete Dye a couple times. That course is awesome.
Yeah,
I would love to
I'd do
go
it.
back to it. Yeah.
Okay, well,
Since
then we're in.
Ronas isn't here, he's
out.
first alternate. Yeah.
Right, he's out. All right, Adam Bibb, thank you for that. This one from Andy Ayers. Hey, Steve, wanted to bring up a couple topics to possibly highlight in your next episode of the Capital Golf Gang. I hope Ronas, spelling.
Got it right.
Got it right.
Yeah.
Listen to local boy Denny McCarthy on the Foreplay pod. He emphasized the need to putt with an athletic mentality and not be too technical. He doesn't have a process nor a putting coach. Great interview. Number 2, please ask Ronas to confirm proper range etiquette. Specifically, what is the best divot pattern to allow the range to properly heal the fastest? I always was taught long strips, but I am starting to see more box-type formations. Love to hear the thoughts directly from a superintendent. Thanks for all the great content, Andy Ayers. Now, I believe he meant Ronas was going to give the answer of his superintendent by way of himself as a PGA of America.
Okay. I thought we were changing Ronas's job to superintendent.
I would like to see him doing that.
Do you think Andy thought Ronas was a super?
That's the way I read it. Now, but your angle is a different perspective that I hadn't thought about. But I will say that Ronas agrees 100% with the first item.
He did reply very nicely and politely and didn't rip him for saying, what am I, some Carl Spackler? I'm a PGA professional.
Yeah, for all of you who write out there and who love to write Ronas, he did write a nice note back. So, yeah, he definitely agrees with the athletic part. And I think the answer was from his superintendent, let's say, that the strips are still better, but as long as you're intentional and not just random, it's always going to be better than just the random.
But a big box is actually not good.
I don't think so because it doesn't have a place to grow together.
Right. The grass will creep in from the sides, so it's better to have kind of a checkerboard of divots where the grass converges on all sides to then smooth it over. Okay.
Strips. Yep.
The saddest dog in the world. And again, these last 2 holes were designed with Ronas in mind.
Yeah.
And then he bailed on us at the last minute, so we couldn't get him on. But he loves golden retrievers, has a golden retriever. I would love a golden retriever. I don't want to clean up the hair from a golden retriever, and they're very big dogs. But, God, are they so full of personality. Take a look at this video of a guy going to play golf, and his dog knows when it's golf day, and the dog is more sad than the wife, who knows his owner won't be back for at least 5 hours. Take a look.
Today, not usually.
Walking down the stairs.
He's getting blocked by her.
The golden retriever is literally lying across the entire width of the stairway on purpose, not budging, saying, well, maybe he can't get over me.
Because he wants to play with a different ball. And we just...
The golden has a tennis ball in his mouth and his nose wedged right through the railings of the staircase. Oh, my God.
Yep.
Dogs
All
are
I
the
wanted
best.
to do was
we
play
don't
ball
deserve
today.
these creatures, do we?
We leave it at that. We don't really talk about it. I'll throw it to you when I get home, okay? I'm going to go shoot a 10.
Go shoot a 10. Oh, my God. That is priceless right there. So, yeah, dogs are smarter than we ever think. They have that sense of, we know what's going on here. Okay, final hole today is up to you guys. I've left it open to discuss whatever you want in the final 5 minutes.
Yeah, I just wanted to give a shout out. So as we said, I was in Williamsburg, the hottest place on earth in the summer, Kings Mill for our MAPGA Senior Professional Championship. And we had one of our pros who's actually the golf coach at the University of Richmond. A shout out to the Spiders, Adam Decker. Just went nuts, 69-65 to win by 8.
Wow.
Awesome. Senior championship. Just turned 50, so that's a little bit of an advantage these days doing that. But so he and 4 of his fellow 50-plus PGA professionals have advanced to the National Senior Club Professional Championship. That's at Sun River in late September. So good luck to all 5 of them.
That's awesome.
Very nice. Buddy, what's shaking here in the store?
We're, getting ready. Labor Day's coming up, so we'll have a Labor Day sale. But, 100 and whatever it is today, but we've got the best weather coming ahead.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I always like to reflect on, great to have football coming back, but playing golf in these great fall days that we're going to get, leaves changing over time. It's
This
good
is
time
my
to get
time
out.
of the year, baby.
And also,
This is when I
thank
play.
you guys for making the trek here. I know it's a lot.
I love coming here.
I know you do, but every week, and Ronas had his thing pop up this week, which is unfortunate. I'm surprised it doesn't happen more. So thank you guys for making this happen.
I can't not spend another 30 minutes after we're done just browsing, seeing what
that's
you
right.
got. There's
Well,
always
you're
something.
going to get fit for a driver.
And we're going to go see what the new, called the GT, right?
Yep.
The GT. What does that stand for?
Great talent.
Great talent.
Great
I
talent.
can't remember.
I was going to say another T.
Obviously, it's got a fast tempo to it, GT, but there is
GT, TSR, TSI,
there's something
the
technology, generational technology. I'm not even sure.
TQS,
I don't know this technical stuff
QI
anymore.
10, all these numbers and names. If it gives me an extra 3 yards, I'll take it.
It's worth
It'll
it.
be well worth it.
Yes.
Yep.
All right, very good. That'll do it for another edition of the Capital Golf Gang. Thanks so much for joining us. Have a great week. Enjoy, and we'll see you next week right here, talking golf with the boys on the Capital Golf Gang, presented by Golfdom.